Hello, everyone, and welcome to another appointment of the Happy Fuse Corona-cation, communicating passion at the time of coronavirus. Today, our guest is artist Kate Daudy. Hello, Kate.
Hello, Raffaella. Thank you very much for having me.
Kate, tell us a little bit about you and the work that you're doing.
I am I'm a British artist. I live in London. I'm at the moment in self-isolation with my 3 adolescent children.
Very brave.
And they're very brave, actually. I think they're being very nice, and I'm quite busy with work. I'm working on I suppose 3 big projects at the moment, and as well as an awful lot of cooking. I'm doing I have a show on at the moment in London, which has been in lockdown. And so my exhibition is locked down with the treasure of Tutankhamun, which is good company. I think they must be all those objects must be having a really good time in there together, with all the security and no one there. I was imagining
they have a party each night.
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting party, I think, probably as well. Yeah, I wish I were there. Yeah, but which looks like it might reopen whenever this is all finished for another few months, because it was supposed to last for another two months.
Fantastic.
And then I was doing a project with London Transport about Egypt everywhere. So I did a big London underground map, and a map of London with lots of Egyptian artifacts and historical monuments and Egyptian influenced buildings on this map that you could go to on the tube. So that was a really fun project, but we'll see when that happens. And then my show has been invited to Egypt to go with the treasure of Tutankhamun after it goes around whenever it opens in Egypt, at the big museum that they're building there at the moment. So that's a tremendous honor. And I'm also working on a big ship that's going to go up and down the Nile, and so making that into an immersive installation. So I'm talking a lot with the Egyptians about that project, which is an exciting project. And also I'm doing a project with my friend Kostya, who's a Russian physicist. We're doing a project, we're doing a permanent project. We're going to be doing it until the day we die, called Everything is Connected, which started because he thinks I'm very cheery and positive and deluded, and but he still thinks that everything's connected. And so I kind of he was saying, okay, so I'll give you proof for your argument that everything is connected, and so we are connecting places all across the world through this Everything is Connected project. And now we're talking with Selfridges department store about a project with the general public in the UK who would contribute elements that they would make, and that then we would make into a big artwork that says that proves that everything is connected. And it's also to do with the coronavirus. Anyway, we're still talking about that, so as you can see, it's a bit
very interesting.
Imprecise. It is very interesting.
It will not have a specific location. It will be in different locations.
We are not sure where the location will be. At the moment, we're working out what is the element that we're going to get the public to give in for our project that we will then make. But it's about positive and negative, virus and antibody, and that general idea that everything is connected and that things balance out, and that we should pay more attention to one another. I suppose it's a humanitarian project. Speaking of which, my tent is also it's in lockdown in Spain. I made a work called "Am I My Brother's Keeper?" That's in lockdown in Spain, but that should be back. I should talk to them actually about, about where it is, but I was talking just this morning to somebody in Italy about it going to Italy after the lockdown. And then what else am I doing? Oh, yes, and I'm also starting a project with a brand called Laura Piana, who make beautiful woolen things, and they're asking me to make works for their headquarters and for them to associate our work together, and for me to use their materials in my work, as I use quite a lot of textiles, and they produce the best textiles in the world. So that's really fun. So I'm actually curiously busy. Well, like everyone's very busy with this lockdown, I think, because we're all given this great opportunity to reevaluate our lives and give things some more depth of thought, it seems. I feel like for those of us who aren't, we had the coronavirus. My husband and I both had it. My husband was very, very ill for about 4 or 5 days. And now my son is volunteering in the local community full time, bringing food to people and doing people's errands and shopping and working in the food bank. And I feel like it's a good opportunity to think about what have we got to offer one another and our community and the world. I suppose that's what I like to think about in my life and in my work. So coronavirus is an opportunity to try to find a sort of the best thing that I can give as a result of this time and this good health, knock on wood. You know.
So an opportunity to regroup and reflect and maybe reflect on what is important and on the social aspect of what we do and how we can be useful to other people.
I'd say so, yeah. Because we're not the ones really, as I say, I don't feel like my family, we're young and healthy, and there's a huge sort of black miasma over the whole world, and that we need to really take it into consideration and think about the future and who we are and what have we got to give, and our position with regards to one another. You know, I think it's something that I think about quite a lot anyway, but this coronavirus has brought up a lot of things. And now my son, for example, yesterday, he went and brought food to an old man who's an RAF veteran up in Kilburn, who was living in such shocking conditions that the other people in the group that my son is working for wouldn't let my son in until they'd cleaned it up a bit. And then my son came in, and he came back last night, my 16-year-old son, saying, "Mom, wow, you know, people live in such terrible I mean, it's been, I'd say, his work volunteering over the last 3 weeks will probably have changed his life, you know." And given him a new sense of what he has to give, you know.
Absolutely. So a lot of good things.
His A levels, and he was saying, we had this conversation this morning. He was saying, should I not go back to school because he's got his GCSEs coming up, and he was saying maybe I should not bother going back to school and should just volunteer because I can be more helpful. Then we had this big conversation about education, because I said, well, I think it's better that you get yourself a really good education, because now you're helping 700 people in the local community. But if you get yourself a fantastic education, you can help hundreds of thousands of people, you know, with your fantastic education. And you can really make a positive contribution to a very, very broad section of society through your education if you make the most of it. And I said, that's one of the reasons why, we want to offer you this fantastic education, is so that you can be the best, find out who you are and be that person to the best of your ability, for your own benefit and also for the benefit of the wider society. I think it's this big conversation that we had at breakfast this morning, about the purpose of his future, really.
And
Thanks to the coronavirus.
Exactly. So do you think this conversation would have happened? Maybe you wouldn't have had the time
Yeah, I think it would have happened, but I don't think it would have maybe have happened in that particular quite urgent context without the coronavirus.
Interesting. That's a wonderful message that you're giving. We're all connected, and we all have to think about each other. We have to be more aware of it. Yeah. And it's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing it with the happy few and the general.
Thank you very, very much for having me. Thank you.